I'm the CEO of Also, which is a lighting company. We're about 150 people employed. And I decided that I'm going to paddle across the Atlantic 2 years ago. I have previously done a Guinness World Record paddling expedition from Cape Town to the north of Kenya. There you can see on the wall Guinness record, and that lasted for 20 years, and now I've decided to paddle across the Atlantic. Well, two things. The first thing is I wanted to inspire South Africans to take hands and bring South Africa back to where we want it to be. You know, and where we have to start is with helping those ones of ours community that needs the most help. And so I started with the ones that needs our help the most, and it's neglected babies. So we've got, and this is big, you know, we're sitting with these problems and unique problems in South Africa because of very bad values that got locked into our society. The second one is, you know, I'm an expedition man, I'm an adventure man. So this is the type of thing that I do. And, you know, it gives me a big thrill to do expeditions. When I was doing the previous expeditions, I supported similar institutions, and especially the one that I did from Cape Town to Kenya. So, you know, I wanted to do record time, which I did 37 days. I needed to be strong. My equipment needed to be right. So the boat that I used was a boat that was used previously, but it was paddled across by Richard Kohler. I did modifications so that I can row the boat across. You know, your legs are much stronger than your arms, so that's better propulsion and better efficiency. So I put a rowing mechanism in. Unfortunately, this rowing mechanism only lasted for 10 days and I had to revert back to paddling. However, I went to gym for a year, I built up my legs, I made my legs very strong, and then I didn't really use it. As a matter of fact, my legs are a bit dystrophied now, or what do you say, atrophied. So, mental preparation, I mean, I know more or less what to expect, because I've done similar things, you know, the long hours paddling and the long hours. It's heavy on the mind, but you know, I think I did an incredible job in managing my mind, because if you've got so much hours that you're just sitting by yourself paddling, you know, you've got to manage your mind, you've got to discipline. I can tell you now that probably the biggest challenge was the currents and the wind. So the wind would go one direction and the currents would be diagonal to that or into that. And so at one stage I made a calculation error and I was in the wrong spot. So I wasn't on path, and I was going to be blown up the Brazilian coastline in godforsaken country where nobody will find me, mangrove swamps. I could have lost my life there. So I was, for a couple of days, I was in big trouble, and I had to paddle most of the time through the nights. And I then eventually worked out my water anchor. I put it to the nose of the boat so that it faces into the wind, and I went with the currents, and I just made it, really just made it. Other challenges that I had was when I started, within a couple of hours I got seasick, and I was so seasick It was very difficult to carry on. And then my boat was leaking during the same time. So now, and I lost my batteries. So all my power, I didn't have proper communication. My boat was leaking. In the pitch darkness of the night, I had to scoop out water so that I don't go under. So the first couple of days was very, very challenging. But I had solar panels on the boat, probably a total of 300 watt. So I had when the sun was shining, they were charging at quite often at 200 watt. And so I could charge my phone from there. The more important piece of equipment that I had on the boat that was very energy expensive is Starlink. So I had Wi-Fi that gives me 300 megabytes a second, which was fantastic.
Goeiemôre. Maandagmôre, 30 Desember. Daar is Suid-Amerika.